Right, we all love Raid. There's a ton of things that we love in the game. There's quality of life improvements that we want to see in the game. And there's quality of life improvements that Raid could just copy from its competitors. This is going to be the video for today, guys. I've been playing a game on the side. It's not going to be like an ad for it or anything. I'm not even going to say the name of the game. If you guys know it already, it's fine. I've already showcased it in the channel before. But today I'll show you some things that exist in that other game that Raid could completely copy and make our life so much easier. There's these simple things within Raid right now that are just infuriating. They feel so old in terms of they do exist, but remember, Raid was developed in 2018. Maybe some things can be changed to make our lives easier and, of course, take some time off our hands and make some of the grinding a little bit easier as well. Getting things started, guys. The quality of life improvement that was recently added to the game was the clan boss, the one key thing that you can do, and that saved us a ton of time. But to maybe, I don't know, 20% of the players out there for the majority of the clan bosses. Other players don't even manage to experience this new one key feature that Raid has added, where everybody does their 50 turns or whatever already based on the team that they're running. Okay, some other quality of life improvements are, I'm gonna show you guys what the other game has and compare it to Raid, because it's very similar. That other game took a lot of inspiration from Raid to add things to their own hero collector game. And while I've been playing that game, I saw these quality of life things, and I thought these are definitely worth it to have in Raid as well. So here they are. Number one, when we farm in Raid, okay, we have this, we go into the campaign, and let's say we want to farm our XP. We have our XP farmer, okay, our one champion that farms XP, and then he doesn't get any of the XP because he's maxed out. And then the other champions that you throw in there, they get the XP only, but that's divided, all right, between them. So if you have two maxed out heroes, then the XP will only be received by the other two heroes. So that's why we only use one champion to farm the campaign. So an easy thing that can be added, and comparing it to this other game that I've been playing, is an overflow of XP. As you see here, when I'm farming XP in this other game, I get an overflow of XP because I'm using heroes that are already max level. And when they are max level, that experience is not lost, is actually provided already in the resource where it's XP within this game. And then that resource can be used for just leveling up your other heroes. You're not losing experience just because you have a hero maxed out and you're using that hero to farm experience. And then going back to Raid, this is the most tedious part of just doing champion training, right? We all know we get our upgraded champions here. We sort by upgradable only. We try to go all the way down, find the food champions that we want to find. We have to scroll down. We sometimes can use chickens. Sometimes we'll use champions. Depends on everyone's account out there. But this is a very tedious part. It takes a lot of time. And during champion training, this is an added time sink for us as players, where we are losing time basically for things that could be made a little bit better, a little bit quicker. And let me just compare with the other game, right? So here in this other game, if we click on and try to level up and rank up our food champions, right? Let me show you on how that looks right here. So you click on quick start up, and then here it is. Look at this beautiful screen that does not exist within Raid. This could be exactly the same. The system of ranking up is basically almost the same as within Raid, but this system exists where you quickly can rank up your heroes. This is the XP material that you use, and then you use the food champions. Maybe in Raid you won't have the XP material here, but you'll still have the food champions here, and then you can quickly star up your food champions and make champion training much quicker. This would be an amazing addition to the game, and the biggest thing that could be added into Raid that will make our lives so much easier. I just can't understand why this does not exist within Raid. This would be such an easy addition to do, and would save the time for a lot of players out there, and also make it more user friendly when you're telling players, right, I'm playing this game, but you gotta grind. Yes, the grind is still there, but some of the things can be made much quicker when you have things like this one, which are quality of life improvements, which are much needed for raid, especially in 2023, guys. Going into 2024 and just a couple of months, by the way. We can all say something about summons, right? We all know the mercy system that exists. And if we didn't have software like RSL Helper, which basically tracks your summons, and you kind of know when you're gonna hit pity, especially if you have it on at all times, then you kind of know when you're gonna hit pity. In raid, it's made very difficult to track your pity counter. Of course, this other game does not have an exact pity counter. It at least has a summon counter right here. A summon counter where it says you have accumulated 342 summons right here. By the way, most of these summons have been free to play, and I'm, again, not advertising, but anyway, this is a much needed addition into raid as well, I think, especially when you're trying to track your summons and you think you're close to the mercy system. You'll know, okay, I've hit legendary on X number of summons, so if I'm at that number of summons means I'm that close to the next mercy. So that would be an amazing addition coming into raid. And this game also has this very cool feature when even if you're summoning rare heroes, you can go back and sell those rare heroes to get back some nice resources such as gems, which can then be used for more summons. So this could also be added to raid, but I think this is by far the least possible thing that will be added to the raid system, because raid will be losing money if they do this, and they don't want to lose money. We all know that, right? So they won't have something like this where you dismiss your 3-star heroes that you might get from summons to get back some gems. You don't get a lot of gems back, but this is about 3 summons, okay? And I sacrifice 7 3-star heroes for 3 potential summons, for 3 ancient shards, basically, if you think of it like that within raid. Another big thing within raid that we absolutely do not have, but only like the developers have, is that when we go into one battle, we only have the 1x speed and the 2x speed, okay? Which is kind of nuts if you think about it. The 2x speed is great and all, but if you're gonna be saving up some time, the 3x speed might be needed, okay? Plyon, please, if you're watching these videos, please just add it into the game. It's not gonna break things apart. It's still gonna look cool, and we are mostly farming when we're doing dungeons on the side, right? We might have our phone, or we might have just the game in the background farming. We don't really care if the animations look funny when it's on a 3x speed. And that's where that other game has done it pretty well, right? Because the 3x speed exists, and it's unlockable through the storyline. It's a part of the storyline. And the storyline, it's same like the missions that you do for Arbiter. So here it is, a 3x auto fight that you unlock completely for free. It's not a paid feature. And then you can use that when you're farming, when you're auto farming, to basically have quicker fights. That is an amazing thing to have, because it saves you, again, time for doing the tedious things, which is farming within, well, raid. You're farming a lot of the gear, and you don't care about how the animations look. You want to get it done so you get your loot and just carry on over doing the rest of the things that might matter for you within raid. And another big thing that I want to see coming into raid, honestly, is we have the Altar of Souls, right? But we also have the Guardian Ring, the faction guardians, the empowerment of champions. All of this just provides more value to basically the people who have mostly legendaries, especially for empowerment, right? You get a lot of power to your legendaries if you have the duplicates. But this does not exist for epics or even rare champions. I'm not saying the epics and rare champions should get the equal benefit, so that there's obviously like a difference between legendaries and the epics, okay? You want to be getting the legendaries and not just be using epics. But you can add a system where even the epics maybe get up to level 2 of an empowerment, and the rares maybe get a level 1 of empowerment as a base. That would be an amazing addition to the game, and would add more value to some of the epics that might have lost their touch, or also help players out there who feel like, okay, I'm getting all these dupe epics, but what do I do them? Do I just use them as food? It feels like such a big waste after a point to just be using them as food, or even as skill books. It still feels bad to use those. But if you could, let's say, empower and make your seer stronger, that would be insane. To make your royal guard, they would be hitting much harder if at least we could do the +2 on them. Doesn't need to be a +4, but a +2 would give them a solid boost and make them more relevant for use in other areas in the game, okay? And that's when where the other game comes into play, where I saw it and I thought, wow, we don't have that in Raid. I saw it because epic heroes, they can get, it's called Awakening here, but that's the empowerment where you can make them a little bit stronger as you get copies of these heroes. And the same thing works for the rares. Not for all the rares, but some rares do have the ability to be empowered, okay, if you compare it to Raid. And make them stronger as you play through. So even if you get some bad summons, so not a legendary, you will still get, you know, something that can help you through by empowering your rare heroes. And if we had that in Raid, I think lots of players out there will be extremely satisfied when they would get a dupe for, let's say, an epic that they're using already, and they feel like it's a powerful epic, but it's sad that you get a duplicate and you don't really want to level up that duplicate, and you don't want to use it as a skill book because your hero might already be fully booked up. So you don't want to be using that. So another big thing in Raid is, well, you see it here, the Great Hole bonuses. The Great Hole takes a ton of time to level up, 240 levels. As a free-to-play low spender, I think it takes you like a year to 2 years. If you do your arena fights consistently, which is, I mean, every single day, with a good win rate to actually get this fully maxed out. This takes a long time, and it's very time consuming. So when you go into arena fight in Raid, not only your defense doesn't do anything when you have a successful defense log, when you fight within Raid, and let's say you lose a fight, you get 0 gold medals. So look at that, you get 0 gold medals when you lose a fight. So imagine my surprise when I was playing that other game, right? And this is how my arena looks. They don't have the Great Hole exactly featured through the arenas. It's a different system, but there's still an arena shop, okay? And when you are successful in arena, you get up in rating. When you are successful in a fight, you get some arena tokens. When you lose a fight, you get arena tokens. And when your defense, all right, so when you're not even playing, if somebody attacks you and you win, you still get arena tokens. So this was a very pleasant surprise added into the gameplay experience of, you know, these two games. So this is a game that is launched in 2023, and Raid is a game that is still thinking back on how 2018 Arena was, okay? They have not added a quality of life improvement right here to make things better for the new players so that they can catch up to the more late game players, or at least make it easier for them so that they don't feel like this is such a huge grind that just puts them off not even having to worry about, you know, their teams. I'm not saying to give everybody full tokens, full medals when you get a win or a loss, okay? For the win, obviously you get a full amount, but for the loss, maybe you could get half so that players wouldn't just go in, lose on purpose, and don't even care, okay? So they would still have the incentive to make a good team so they can win to get the maximum amount, but also they know that, okay, if I lose, I still get something back. And if I lose too many, I'll drop a tier, which is also something that they don't want because they're going to be losing out overall. And also maybe add in the weekly here rewards that we get for Arena, maybe add some gold medals in there. That would be something that players would really appreciate and make things easier for upgrading the Great Hole. So guys, these are just the features that I saw on this other game that I'm playing. I'm also considering making like another YouTube channel just to play that game and do videos on it, since I'm finding it interesting, at least for now. And if you guys are interested, I'll leave a link down below to my other channel in the comment section if you want to check it out. If you are already playing it, please go over there and subscribe to my channel. Thank you all so much for watching. What do you think about these additions to Raid? Would you actually use them? Do you feel like any of these are possible coming into the game? Honestly, out of the ones that I've mentioned, and I didn't go too deep into everything that could be added into Raid, I'm just comparing the two games basically, since I'm playing both, right? Right now, I think Raid could add at least the rank up feature. That is the most useful one for sure. Like, look at all these champions that I have at level 40. I could click one button. Imagine just clicking one button and be able to fully rank up all your champions. And this is more impactful when you're leveling up your 1 stars, your 2 stars. That is the most tedious thing, the most time consuming, because the level 40s, this is okay. I mean, this is not that often that you do it, especially if you're a free to play or a low spender, where you're going to be ranking up mostly the 1 stars and 2 stars, because you'd be slowly farming for those in terms of doing a champion training instead of having tons of level 40 saved up and tons of tons of food saved up like that. So I think that would be the feature that we're all looking for, possibly to be added into Raid. I would wish for that. The 3x will also be something amazing, and it doesn't get anything away from the fact that Raid wants you to improve and make faster teams. You're still gonna want to make faster teams. It's just that we're gonna have a 3x speed. If we had that, I think in the game it would be amazing. Other things like the summon tracker, honestly, I don't even know why that's not in the game. It makes zero sense because you already can track summons when there's a guaranteed champion right here in the summon portal. You can track it already. You see how many out of, let's say, 150 ancients you've summoned so far. So I don't understand why they don't add it already. I think it would help a ton of players out there who are close to pity to know, all right, I'm this close to pity, I'll even buy shards to get it. Or if I'm not close to pity, I won't be wasting my shards. That is also a good thing to add, to give players back something in terms of information. Okay, we're telling you you're too far away from pity, don't waste your shards. Even though that Plarium will lose money, it's a good thing for player satisfaction, honestly. But anyway, guys, this was the video. Thank you all. Check out my other channel if you want to play that game. I don't have a link for that game, like a download link or anything. Just check it out. Thank you all so much. Subscribe if you haven't already to both of the channels, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.